Hi guys, Laura here. Now today I'm sharing with you a story that's really personal to me, and I'm sharing it for two reasons. Number one, it's been bothering me for almost 20 years. And number two, I feel like if I share my story that it might help somebody out there who has gone through it or is going through it. I just want people to know that you're not alone. So it's a bit of a long story, but bear with me, I'm getting to a point. I'm going to start with I was adopted. So I was adopted when I was a baby, and I always wanted to know my birth family. And I didn't want to know my birth family because I wanted to be a part of their family. I wanted to know because I wanted information about my background, because there's nothing worse than going to a doctor and not knowing your family history. Was there cancer, diabetes, heart disease, stroke? I don't know any of that, so I can't share it. Now, some people have an open adoption, and so they do have access to that information, but I had a closed adoption through CAS, and so I don't know anything. And number two, I wanted to know what they look like, because growing up, my parents had brown hair and brown eyes. My brother had brown hair and brown eyes, and I certainly don't. And my mom was very short. She was 4'11", and I'm almost 5'10", so I'm quite tall. So my parents always told me I was adopted, but if they didn't, I certainly would have guessed, because I stuck out like a sore thumb in the family. So I really just always wanted to search for my birth family, and my mom was super supportive. She was the most amazing woman. I was so grateful to have her as my mom. We were very, very close. And so she was not threatened by me wanting to search for my family, because she knew that she was my mom. So when I was in my early 20s, I started searching, and I found who I thought was my birth grandparents. And so I wrote them a letter, and I said, I think that you're my birth grandparents. I gave them all the information that I had, which was very basic information, but I just gave everything that the Children's Aid Society had given me. And I also sent a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I said, if I found the wrong people, can you please just pop this back in the mail so that I know that I found the wrong people, and I'll keep searching. And, you know, if they wanted to write a little note, they could, but it was my way of getting a return response. So about a week later, I got a letter from my grandparents. It was them, I found them. And they were so excited. They said they'd been waiting for my letter for several years. As you can see, it's been almost 20 years and I'm still emotional about this, because it's just something you don't get over. So bear with me, I apologize for getting a bit choked up. So my grandparents said that they were really excited to get my letter, and that my parents had married each other, which really was the best thing that could have happened to me, because, you know, my mom could have married somebody else and not told them that she had a baby. So there was none of that. They both knew that I existed. So I thought, this is the best situation. It's amazing. And I was so excited. They said they'd given the letter to my parents, and that, you know, that they were just tickled pink. So then a couple days later, I got a letter from my birth brother. Apparently, they had two boys after me, and I have full blood brothers. And I was super excited. He sent pictures, which was amazing, because I could finally see who I resembled. It's amazing how much I look like my brothers. And it was so cool to have that. And he said, you know, I think you're my sister. All the information is correct. I'm super excited. You know, I hope you are my sister. And I was excited. I thought, the grandparents are excited. My brother knows about me now and he's excited. What could go wrong, really? And then a couple days later, I got my envelope sent back to me in the mail, empty. So my parents didn't know that my grandparents wrote me, and they didn't know that my brother wrote me. So they assumed that they could still send my self-addressed stamped envelope back to me, and I would think I didn't find them. And so I thought that was incredibly cruel, because if they couldn't deal with meeting me or knowing me, that's one thing. But to make me think that I didn't find them, and that I would be searching for the rest of my life, always coming up empty, was incredibly hurtful. Because You know, as an adopted child, I felt like I was giveawayable. And not every adopted child feels that way. I'm not speaking for every adopted child, but I know some of us do feel that we were giveawayable. I don't know other word to use. But you know, we grew up with our parents saying you were wanted and we were lucky to get you and you're special and all of that stuff. And so you believe it, you know, you start to feel that. And then being rejected like this as an adult and is absolutely crushing. So then they found out that my grandparents and my brother had written to me. So now they had to face the music. So they sent me a typewritten letter with my first initial and my last name and their first initial and last name. There was no pen on the paper at all. And it was, leave us alone, leave our family alone. We can't deal with this right now, and we may never be able to deal with this. Please respect our wishes. So that was honestly, aside from my mom dying, that was the most devastating thing that has happened in my life. And as you can see, it's been almost 20 years. And I'm still affected by it. And it still hurts. And I should say that when I did send my birth parents the letter, it was non-threatening. It was me saying, I want the opportunity to thank you for having the strength to give me up. I just wanted to thank them, and I wanted to let them know that I was okay. I didn't want anything from them. I didn't want money. I didn't want an apology. I didn't want to get mad at them. I didn't want anything other than to get information and to say thank you. And they never gave me that chance. So I'm not sharing my story to get sympathy. Mind you, feel free to leave it in the comments because it's always nice to hear love and support from people. But I'm sharing my story because I feel like TV has done people a disservice. I remember watching shows like Oprah, and there'd be reunion stories where they found the adopted family and they reunited on the stage, and it was tears of joy and hugs of acceptance, and it was all flowers and butterflies. But the reality is that doesn't always happen. You don't always have a happy ending to searching for your birth family. So I just wanted you to know that if you're going through this and you've had this type of experience, you're not alone. And I'm sure there's many of us out there that have gone through it. And it's hard. There's no other word for it. It's hard. It's hard to feel this way. So if you're going through this personally, please, feel free to send me an email, because sometimes it's nice to talk to somebody who gets it. And this is why I'm putting myself out there, because I just don't want other people to feel alone and that they have nobody to talk to. That's all. I just wanted to share my story with those of you who might need to hear it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye for now.